I'm still in my workout clothes and I'm like, you know what? I haven't showered, I haven't gotten ready, I haven't done anything, but I really want to make a video because it's on my mind and it's on my heart. Hey, it's Serene Vocal Studio. It's been a hot minute since my last video. Not really a reason except that I got into the habit of making my videos. Life got really busy and I have been trying to reevaluate kind of what my channel is about. Some of the last few videos I did where I was reacting to stuff, I got a little dispassionate. I think I actually mentioned that in my last video. I'm like, I'm going to try to really focus on things that I am excited about and obviously try to listen to the audience as well, but staying within my lane of like what I love and what I do. Otherwise, I get dispassionate and then I do other things and I get busy. So some of the other things that I've been working on include doing a ton of auditions. I've been doing auditions up the wazoo the last, 1.5 years. I got into a really good rhythm in 2020 with my YouTube videos, and that's when my channel really started taking off and seeing subscribers, and it was a great year for my channel. And now I'm realizing, well, last year I did some videos, but I took most of the year off. And this year I'm like, okay, I want to get back to it. So, but that doesn't really matter. That's more of just me saying it out loud and keeping myself accountable. But today I kind of want to share with you what I've been doing the last little bit, and that includes YouTube videos that I have made. I had been posting them on my channel, but because these auditions were going to some big theaters in the area and I felt it a little bit unprofessional to put it on my channel, I shared a couple and then I was like, okay, I'm going to post them somewhere else. But I want to share some clips with you on stuff that I've been working on because I think you would enjoy seeing what I've been working on. So, not that it's like the best on the market, not that it's like, oh my gosh, look at me. But I have put a lot of hard work into what I've been doing, and it's been where I've been putting time. And I think that can be really interesting to know. It's like, well, where have you been? Are you alive? What have you been doing? Oh, it looks like I put my Chitty audition on. I think that was the last audition I put on. Oh, and I put my Les Miserables video on there. It was a little bit, that one was not my best, but it's on there. So we're just gonna live in the moment. And you know what? I have food on my shirt apparently. No, it's a fluff. Everything's fine. It's a fluff. I'm still in my workout clothes and I'm like, you know what? I haven't showered. I haven't gotten ready. I haven't done anything, but I really want to make a video because it's on my mind and it's on my heart, as well as Star Wars, obviously, because I was sight reading through some of my kids' music. So, and also that's another thing that I want to start being more open with is the fact that I have kids. I have kept my personal life very personal, which overall that feels really authentic and good to me, but I don't want that to be like a thing where it's like, oh, I can't talk about it. It's personal. But I do want to put it out there that I have 5 children and sometimes you might hear them on my video and that's okay. And I still have a life outside of this little square footage. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so looking back on my video uploads, the first audition video when I started re-auditioning was, it says a year ago, but I'm gonna get the date because I'm OCD like that. Stop. October 14th, 2020. That was more than a year ago. What? Okay. October 14th, 2020 was when I had my first audition since 2006, maybe? From 2007 to 2020, that was the gap in between auditioning. That was when I got married, when I was going to college, when I was having my 5 babies that I told you about. What? This feels like it should be one of those episodes where it's like, and by the way, I reveal to you life secrets. You're welcome. Okay, so October 14th, 2020 was when I uploaded my first audition. in a long time. And I just kind of want to talk through probably the next few episodes of my YouTube channel will be me just kind of talking through what I've been going through with this, because it's what's been on my mind and my plate and my heart. And it's a good reminder for me to be like, why have I been doing this? Because recently it's been like, I've had a lot of no's with my auditions. And so it's been, hard in the sense that you get told no a lot, and it's exhausting after a while. And I think you need to process that. You're a person too, and while you may be an auditioning machine, you do have to take time to be like, okay, where am I at? How am I doing? And what can I do to like stay sane? Because it's an exhaustive process, not only physically, but mentally. It's probably one of those things that is the most mentally exhausting things that I've done. Okay, so this first audition was for Guys and Dolls back in 2020. And it was kind of a crazy year for auditions because there was a butt ton of people who auditioned for Guys and Dolls at Hale Center Theater in Sandy, Utah. Anyway, okay, let's go. Let's listen.
Then they get on the train for Niagara, and she can hear Kate Vale's chime. The compartment is air-conditioned, and the mood sublime.
Love that.
Then they get off at Saratoga for the 14th time. A poison can develop la grip, la post-nasal drip, with the wheezes and the sneezes and a sinus that's really a pip. From the lack of community property and a feeling she's getting too old, a poison can develop a bad cold.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it. I loved this audition so much. So this recording took me 45 minutes to an hour. I was actually supposed to go on a date with my husband and some friends. We were late to the date and it was giving me anxiety because I was still recording and I was like, I have to get this done. Today's the deadline, or tomorrow was the deadline, or whatever. The deadline was there and this was the last chance I had to record it. So I had gotten in the moment. I had really, as I had taken the time to sing through this, I'd really been able to figure out the character. And it came to me as I was doing it. Sometimes you approach something and you're like, I know how to sing it, but how do I act it? What is going through the character's brain from like one thought to the next? And then anyway, as you like analyze the character, it plays into what body language you use. Like she's like going like, oh my gosh, she's like just dying from this cold. And it's making her, like when she thinks about it, it like makes it worse. And it's like when you think about sneezing, then you're like, I can't do anything but sneeze if you're just thinking about sneezing. Or if you see somebody sneeze, you can't help it but sneeze. And so I was really trying to play into that as I worked into finding this character. I really love this character. She's, I have this like deep love for Adelaide. Like I just love her so much. Anyway, but like I got finished filming. I got to a point where I was like, okay, I've got it. No problem. I've got it. And then I like went on my date, and I remember we went to this restaurant. There were some bright lights in the restaurant, and I got triggered from migraine that night. And it was like, am I having anxiety because I was like 20 minutes late to our date? Is it because of the lights? Is it because I'm just so starving? Is it because I'm stressing over this audition? It could have been all of the things. And getting migraines has been one of those things that since, what year is it? 2016? No, 2013. I'm like, what year is my daughter born? Wrong daughter. One of my daughters was born in 2013. That was the year that I started struggling with migraines, and it's been a journey to figure them out. Anyway, but I felt like crap that night when I got triggered, and we just left going, oh, this is the worst. I don't like thinking about it because then I'm like, everything's fine. Everything's fine. I'm fine. I think a lot of it poses from stress, honestly. Stress. And that's one reason why I love to audition, because it helps me to lean into discomfort, but I also have to figure out how to manage the stress that comes up from auditioning. And I think I've done a better job with it, but like still being told no, it still hurts. Like it still hurts pretty bad. But anyway, this was a great audition. I got a call back for this audition. When I went, there was like 200 people. No, there was more than that. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to remember how many they had. So I got called back for the hot box dancers. And because I have a large history of dance in my background, and I was able to put all that on my resume. And I was in, I don't even know what, but anyway, I was in one of the groups. I think there was 4 groups altogether, possibly 5. It's been since 2020. But I was in one of the last groups that went, and each of the groups had at least 80 people in them. So they may have had like 500 auditioners, maybe more, for Guys and Dolls, because there was a lot of people out of work in the entertainment industry, like, you know, actresses and singers and all the things, and people were looking for work. And this was one of the few theaters that paid people to do work and was still open during 2020. So there was a ton of people. There was it was brutal. They could pick whoever they wanted. I ended up, you know, not getting cast, which was like not a huge surprise, kind of, but like it still hurts. Even though it's not a surprise, it still is like, oh, okay, I put in all that work and okay, everything's fine. But I went through the audition. I made it through the audition. I felt like I did a decent job with the dance. When they were teaching the dance combo, it went on forever. This dance combo they'd teach a little part, and then they'd teach more, and then they'd teach more, and then they'd teach more. Like, it was over a minute of this dance combo. And that is like, for a dance, that's a lot. That's a lot to remember. And it just kept going and going and going and going. And there was moments where I was like, wait, what's next? Okay, keep going. And it was a lot of like musical theater, jazz, that kind of thing. So I felt like I did a decent job. I didn't get cast. Totally fine. So that was great. Okay, so that was Miss Adelaide. And that one was on my Serene Vocal Studio channel, on this channel here. And so you may have seen it already, but I just kind of wanted to talk through what that was like. Okay, so the next audition that I did was Les Miserables, which was also posted on my channel. This was posted November 1st, 2020. So the Guys and Dolls was October 14th and then November 1st. They were just a couple weeks apart, and I had to do a lot of work going into it, or a relative amount of work, however you want to say it. A lot of work into preparing the video. I knew the song, so it wasn't too crazy in terms of learning material. But anyway, okay, let's take a listen to this. This one is a 2-minute audition. Good heavens. I don't know if we'll listen to the whole thing. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
And now I'm all alone again, where to turn, no one to go to. Without a home, without a friend, without a face to say hello to. And now the night is near, and I can make believe he's here.
I think I got good hair that night. It was good.
Sometimes I walk alone at night when everybody else is sleeping. I think of him and then I'm happy with the company I'm keeping. The city goes to bed and I can live inside my head.
Okay, so that was the first cut. The first cut of the song anyway. So I really like what I did overall. This filming took me so long because I was being so picky, because I was like, oh my gosh, if I got into Les Miserables, this would be like, whoa! I was very excited about it. As was all the other auditioners. I think they had 1,000 people audition for the show, which is not typical. Again, not typical. Same theater, but I really wanted it to look good. I wanted to like have enough light, good sound. I wanted to make sure I guess I wore the same top, didn't I? Oh well, that's fine. But I wanted to come across as really looking like I had prepared very put together, very, like I had practiced and I really thought about how I would work on the character. So let's play this from the beginning. Yes, I am Serene Parker. So this intro, I'm just gonna pause it at the intro. This intro was so long that I felt like it was a time for me to really show some of the character. And I, like, even to now, I'm like, it's still kind of it's still one of those things that's like, this is very imaginative. And so you could take it in a lot of different directions. But I think a long intro or an interlude or what's a closing lude at the end? But the end exit lude? What? There's a word. Now I can't think of it. Whatever. But it's a time to show and help you connect with the character. Whether or not I did the best job in the world, I mean, it is what it is. But like, it's kind of this imaginary place that you kind of just have to live in to get yourself in it. You don't just want to stand there and be like, I'm not coming in yet, and be like a statue. But I really wanted to show some pain and anxiety that she was going through. Like thoughts that were going through my head, and I was like, she is devastated right now. Like she's really struggling, right?
And now I'm all alone again. Where to turn, no one to...
And trying to sing it as if I'm saying a monologue is kind of what I was going for.
Go to... Without a home, without a friend, without...
I think in that area, I wasn't perfect vocally, but I wanted the message to be more important than the message is more important and the character is more important than perfect vocals at this moment. And I'm not sure if I got a little bit too emotional. I may have gotten too emotional. I'm not really sure what they thought about that because there was never a callback. They cast it from the videos. They did not do a callback this time. And I think a part of that had to do with what was going on with COVID at the time. Okay.
To say hello to, and now the night is near, and I can make believe he's here.
I like kind of how wispy it got right there. Make believe he's here. And it got very quiet. I like that. Some people try to belt this part, and I personally don't like, I don't connect with that interpretation. I don't want to be like, oh, they're doing it wrong, because there's no right and wrong here. It's all interpretation. But I like the interpretation of less belty, which is why I did it the way I did it. Let's keep going.
Sometimes I walk alone at night when everybody else is sleeping.
I love how gentle this is here.
I think of him and then I'm happy with the company I'm keeping. The city goes to bed and I can live inside my head.
Vocally, I really like what I did right there. I felt like the placement of my voice and I can live inside my head, I felt was really good. That tone, low. What's the note? It's kind of mid-rangey right here, but this could get pulled back quite easily, but it was nice and open and in the front, and it made for a really nice interpretation. Transition.
I love him, but every day I'm learning.
So this is very tricky. You could do a belt all the way through this if you could vocally do it. Mine needs to be more of a belt into a mixed belt because that's what my voice can handle in this range. And so I think I did a pretty good job with the transition, but you can hear it a little bit in my voice. And then this transition from the first part to like the biggest part of the song is also crazy.
I love him, but every day
So I switched on I'm into more of a mixed belt.
learning.
And then came back down on learning. Every day, oh my gosh, I'm not warmed up. Every day, belt, switching up to a mix, I'm and then switching down to a belt somewhere in there.
I love him, but every day
Switch.
I'm learning.
Down, back.
All my life.
Oh, this is a strong mixed belt here in the bottom, but it's more of a chest belt right here. All my life.
I've only been pretending without me.
Oh my gosh, I love this part. I think I did a pretty good job. I mean, you can disagree with me, which is fine. I can take criticism. I cannot. Okay. And here's the boundaries within my channel. I don't really tolerate if people are mean. So if you're feeling judgy at this point in the video, you can go ahead and sign off because I will delete your comments. It's just not needed. It's just not needed. Everybody's in a different place. Obviously, there's people in the world who can sing this better than I can. I realize that. But this is where I was in 2020. And where I'm at today, when I don't have congestion in my sinuses, is like, I'm in a different place today. I could probably sing this stronger today. Not today, but today, overall.
All my life, I've only been pretending.
That was nice.
Without me, his world will go on turning. The world is full of happiness that I have never known.
I didn't really like the flip into known, but I think I had the emotion there that I wanted to portray.
I know this house, I tell you, there's nothing here for you. Just the old man and the girl. They live ordinary lives. I'm gonna scream, I'm gonna warn them here.
So that last clip, it was not my favorite. It was all about the acting, and I was unclear about my thoughts surrounding it. Like, I thought I was clear, but over camera, it really wasn't connecting where I was at in my head. And that's okay. Sometimes we have to move forward with an audition, even if we don't have it all figured out, of like how to look, what's going through her head, how is the notes connecting with what she's going through emotionally. And anyway, this was the part that I cringe most on. So I'm like, oh, let's not watch that again, you know. But it's like, I did the best I could with the tools that I had at the time. Ugh, right. And sometimes that's just what we have to do to move forward. We will learn from it no matter what. So they didn't do a callback for this show, like I said previously, but I learned so much from this audition. I learned so much about my voice. I realized that there was moments that were easier for me to get into the character and other moments where I just felt kind of disconnected. And I had some work for myself to do to connect emotionally and then have it come onto my face of like, what is going on with this character and how can I relate to that? But I also learned a ton about the lighting, the sound, and the filming and the editing of this. And I learned that if I spend too much time on one singular audition, I become obsessed and it's not healthy. So there's that. But it was a great audition. I learned a lot from it and I'm glad that I did it, albeit some cringy moments. It's okay. It is okay. We can live with that. Okay, where's my next one that I did? Okay, so in between Les Miserables and July, I thought I had another audition, but I don't see one. It looks like the next audition I did was in July, but in between Les Miserables and July, I realized a lot of things. I realized I needed some help with my vocals. There was some problems that arose that I noticed from my Les Miserables audition that I wanted help with. So in that time, I found a vocal coach and I started working with her because I didn't want vocals are probably the easiest part for me, even though they're still tricky, but they're the easiest part for me because A, I'm a voice teacher, B, I've been doing it a long time, and C, I love to sing and I'm good at it. But no matter how good you are with any vocals or anything you're good at, you always can use extra help from somebody who knows more than you. And if you are really good at something, sometimes that's a trick to find somebody who's better than you at that particular skill. So I found a teacher. I was working with my acting coach. I started working with the dance coach because after Guys and Dolls, I realized I need more help with dance. I can't just rely on old talent to get me through a dance audition. I just can't. So I prepared for my next audition, which happened in July of 2021. I auditioned for 2 shows in 2021, and one was Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, and 3. Oh my gosh, I did 3 auditions in July. Yikes. Okay, so these 3 shows in July, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, A Christmas Carol, and Sweeney Todd. I auditioned for all of those all at once. And I made 2 videos for Chitty Chitty Bang Bang and 1 video for Christmas Carol and Sweeney Todd because I used the same, not the same exact video for Christmas Carol and Sweeney. I used different cuts of the same song. So I made 2 videos, but one was more Christmas Carol-y and the other was a little bit more characterized for Sweeney Todd. So I'm gonna get my Truly Scrumptious audition. This was on my Serene Vocal Studio channel, so you probably saw it, which is fine. But let's go through it. Okay, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang for Truly Scrumptious.
Hi, my name is Serene Parker, and I will be auditioning for the role of Truly Scrumptious and Women's Ensemble.
Too much echo. Hindsight's 2020.
What do you see? You people gazing at me. You see a doll on a music box that's wound by a key. How can you tell? I'm under a spell. I'm waiting for love's first kiss. You cannot see how much I long to be free. Turning around on a music box that's wound by a key. Yearning, I'm turning around and around.
This is my dance audition. Let's not watch that part. I have PTSD from this callback. Okay, so let's talk about the singing because this is my singing channel. We're not talking about the dancing. Yikes, 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 yikes. But the singing, oh my gosh, have you ever tried to do a music box, doll, whatever, and sing and have your vocals spot on while doing your choreography for your music box, doll, whatever? It's challenging. I'm just gonna say it's challenging, but I loved it. Truly Scrumptious was really in my lane of comfort. I'm like, oh yeah, I can totally do that. It was great. But at the time, I was like, should I audition for the Baroness? So I actually created a video for the Baroness as well. And I had to decide which video I wanted to send in. Do I send in the Baroness video or do I send in Truly Scrumptious? I really liked my Truly Scrumptious audition video because it sounded great in my voice. It was nice and floaty and clear. There's not really anything vocally that I hated about that audition. And I liked what I did with my music box stuff. I thought it was really strong. I don't have any issues with it. Okay, let me show you my Baroness video because this is not the audition and I had a great time with it. So let's try.
Whatever you may ask becomes my happy task. I only live to serve you. I never will define what magic made you mine. I only know I don't deserve you. You're my little churchy face, and you're my teddy bear. Together we're an oochie woochie coochie choochie, choochie woochie, woochie coochie, choochie woochie woochie coochie bear.
So vocally, I felt like I had a great time with the Baroness, and I did not put my dance audition on the back of this because I ended up sending in Truly Scrumptious. And I told you wrong before. I realized after Chitty was when I realized I needed help with dance and singing. I did. I think. I need to go back and look at my Venmos because I can tell you when I started paying people, and that's when stuff started happening. Anyway, but it all kind of built on each other though. It wasn't like one moment, I suppose. But after how many things of building on top of each other, that's when after building, I finally made a decision to move forward with hiring some more help. I think I wasn't sure how silly to take the Baroness, and also I wondered if they would go for somebody a little bit older than myself. And so I kind of made a judgment call based on how they would see me and how they would cast me. So that's why I didn't send in the Baroness. I had a blast with it. Like, it was so fun. And I just had to figure out how to be so very a little bit just funny and a little bit vain and a little bit like, oh, you're so cute, your churchy face, right? I had a great time with it, which is one reason why I filmed it and then I uploaded it to my other channel, because I was like, that was so fun. I can't not share that. So Chitty was great. I got an audition for Chitty. Hello. I think I did deserve a callback for this, and I got a callback. This callback was smaller than Guys and Dolls, and it was much smaller. It was in 2021, and there was less people there. They called back less people. It was like one group of us, and I think there were still 60 people in one group, 60 dancers, because I got called back as a dancer, ensemble dancer, or whatever. And they had taught us that routine that was on the end of Truly Scrumptious's video, which I did not show you because, embarrassment to the heightened degree. But anyway, that callback for Chitty Chitty Bang Bang killed me. Their dance director that they had is a ballerina, and I think she wanted ballerinas. And while I have a very strong background in ballet, it don't look like it. You know what I'm saying? And that's okay. That's okay. You have 5 babies. Things happen. I could tell that a lot of the dancers in there were like girls who were in college for dance, or they're people who dance 5 hours a day, every single day. And it was intimidating, to say the least. It was a heartbreak because I really wanted to get into Chitty, and I thought maybe I had the minutest chance of getting in. But I didn't, and that's okay. It was still a huge learning experience in terms of filming and auditioning. Like, I go back to the videos and realize, there's a lot of echo. That was that face I made at the beginning, and I was like, that's too much echo. But you can't learn these things until you do them. And that's what I was most proud of, is showing up, being there, and doing. So I think I'm going to stop there for today. I will show you my Christmas Carol and Sweeney Todd audition next time. But thank you for joining me here at Serene Vocal Studio. If you have any audition experiences that you would like to share down below, please feel free to share. What was it like in terms of, have you been doing online auditions? Have you done any in-person auditions? Now, since I've done so many video auditions, I'm terrified to do an in-person audition. Just me. I do callbacks in person, but round 1 audition is a little bit scary. So, yeah, let me know what your experiences are and how you deal with the heartbreak of being told no, because it's a thing, I tell you. Often you will expect it, depending on how you thought you did, but it still hurts because you still put in time and effort and emotional energy. So it's one of the things we have to learn to deal with as a singer and as a performer. So you have an amazing week. I'll talk to you next time here at Serene Vocal Studio. Peace.